Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim. I'm a Filipino American who was diagnosed with BPD. I make videos for anyone who wants to hear about my experiences or some tips and tricks for handling this disorder. And if that sounds like you, please like, comment, and subscribe to show me that these videos matter. So it's actually been a few years since I've cut myself. That was my drug of choice, was self-harm. And I wanted to talk about it because there's this misconception about relapse that, you go back to square one and it's as if you didn't make any progress, when that's just not true. If you've been abstaining for a while and you relapse, it doesn't mean that all of those days of abstaining have been deleted. You still have that experience of not engaging in the behavior for X amount of days, and you can remember that. So just feel better about yourself. If you've already relapsed, know that the effort that you put into abstaining means something, and you're not back at square one, even if it feels like that. You're not. So what I've found that helps me try to understand the why behind my urges to self-harm are trying to, look at what it is I get out of cutting. And what I get out of it is a release, and I feel that I'm in control. I can sort of push away an emotion that I don't want by cutting myself and looking at the blood. Sorry if this is triggering, but you really need to get down to the bottom of it and down to the truth of why is this behavior so addicting. And I've also dealt with drug abuse, substance abuse, alcoholism. All of those things I've done to mask any type of sadness and emptiness that I would feel when I was by myself. So I think that if you can figure out what this activity does for you, because there is a reason why you're doing it. You're not this broken person who can't be fixed. There is a logic behind why you're doing this. If you figure that out, you can try to maneuver your way around the trigger when it happens again, and you have an option to choose something that isn't the self-destructive behavior. So what I found was to just give myself compassion for whenever I get the urge, and I still get the urge even if I haven't cut myself or done drugs in a long time. I have an urge to do it when I feel really bad, but the difference is I look at that urge as if it's an indication that I'm hurting rather than an indication that I'm broken. So I've kind of learned to separate myself from the shame that comes up instantaneously when I get the urge to hurt myself. So I think part of the reason why I've been so addicted to self-harm is because I felt a lot of shame in the act of crying. And when I figured out this puzzle piece, I was able to pinpoint what things in my everyday life now can cause this feeling to come back. And I noticed that it comes back in adulthood when I feel like crying, and something inside of me just tells me it's not acceptable to cry, so I want to reach for a blade or a razor. It's really crazy how that can manifest in my head, that something can tell me that hurting myself physically is more appropriate than letting myself cry. But that's really how I was raised, and that's an example of how your environment growing up can lead to self-destructive behavior and how it's not your fault. So for me, when I found that out, I traced it back to my childhood, and I remembered moments when I would cry and I was literally ignored. Like, I was treated like I was invisible, which was the worst kind of hell for me, because feeling invisible to your mom feels like you don't exist. It's like it doesn't matter if you're there or not, and that was really painful for me. So rather than feel that pain and of being alone and ignored and crying, I've learned to just stifle the feelings and deal with it in private by hurting myself in the bathroom. And so I developed that at the age of 13. I developed this way of controlling my emotions by hurting myself, and I did it again and again throughout my adulthood. And I didn't stop until I moved in with my husband, and he saw me doing this, and he was like, this is not normal. And among other things, he pushed me to go to DBT therapy, where I learned to stop doing this. So my next point is, you actually do need professional help to get your feelings out, because this is a very complex issue. And you're not going to get healed over just listening to me on YouTube. I'm just here to kind of hold your hand and show you that you're not alone, you're not crazy, you're not broken, that this is a very difficult thing to deal with because you have so much on your plate. And it's not your fault that you weren't given the tools to choose something else that's healthier for you. If anyone else in your position had your life, they would be doing the same thing. So I really don't want you to feel like you're a broken person or that you fucked up by relapsing, because this is just what you're capable of right now, and there's nothing wrong with it. This is how you're dealing with the pain, and nobody can judge you for that. So please try not to judge yourself. If you're a loved one who's watching this and you want to help your borderline friend or partner or child or whoever, please don't judge them for doing this. Please don't tell them how much it scares you, even if it does. I mean, don't let that be the focal point of the conversation, because it's really not about you. This is about them gaining new coping skills to deal with their emotions. And as illogical as it seems to you, it makes a lot of fucking sense to us to self-harm. And it doesn't help us to, guilt us into not doing it anymore, because it's a psychological attachment to the behavior, and we're not going to unlearn it overnight. So please be gentle with us. Please don't try to scare us into being normal, and don't make fun of us for this. I've heard stories where people would try to shame their loved one out of self-harming because it looks stupid. And I know that to the common person who doesn't deal with this or has anybody in their life that self-harms or whatever, I know that they may think that it's just something to get over, but that kind of attitude really annoys me. And I just want them to experience what it was like in our shoes to grow up and not know how to control our emotions or not know how to release our emotions. It just fucking annoys me when I hear about that. So if this is you, please stop doing that, and please listen to your loved one and let them confide in you, because chances are they don't have anyone to show this side of them to. It's scary to even show it to ourselves, to even admit that this raw emotion is brewing inside of us. To admit that to ourselves is scary, and that's why we do the behavior that is self-destructive. So I would encourage you to try to understand them rather than try to fix them, please. I got a little emotional there because I thought of all the times where people invalidated me when they found out that I had self-harmed. But I'm going to try to calm down now and end the video. So please like, comment, and subscribe. It really makes my day. And DM me on Instagram if you have Instagram. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.